everyone and welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, hi, my name is Nicole and I'm a part-time reseller on Poshmark, and today I want to talk about features that I wish Poshmark had. These are all things that I have kind of been coming up with a list over time of things that I wish Poshmark had that would really help improve the platform. I know I actually made one of these videos not too long ago, but these are more features that I've come up with since that I really think Poshmark could really use, and this actually sparked from PoshFest when they started releasing new features to the app. These are all things that I was like, oh, this would be a great feature that they should release, or this would really be helpful. And so that's kind of where I came up with the idea for this video. So I hope this is something that you find interesting, and I hope you stick around. And also make sure that you're subscribed, because I make videos every single week and I would love to have you stick around for more. But let's get right into the video. Okay, so the first feature I wish Poshmark had is just different shipping options that would make it cheaper if someone purchased something small, such as just like one shirt or a piece of jewelry or something like that. Because there's only one shipping option on Poshmark, and it's basically just a flat rate cost of $7 something, and it's up to £5, there's really not a lot of wiggle room if somebody wants to buy like a necklace or something like that. And that's actually why I find it to be really difficult to sell jewelry on Poshmark, because people are going to basically pay exactly the same cost that they are for the piece of jewelry that they are for shipping. And this also goes for, you know, a simple shirt or something like that. So I feel like people are less likely to buy a shirt or a piece of jewelry or something small when the shipping cost is so high. And while you can give a shipping discount of $5.95, $4.99, or free, that actually comes out of your money and your earnings. So by giving them that shipping discount, you actually are losing out on some money. And currently right now, I actually do offer shipping discounts on most of my sales, especially when I'm sending out an offer, because I know that the shipping is really high. But then I'm actually losing more money every time I do that. So I just wish there was an option that would be applied to things that are smaller, or that are, you know, small like jewelry or something like that. It would be really beneficial, and I think a lot more people would be likely to buy things. Now, I know the reason why they do this, and this is part of the reason why I love Poshmark, because they have one shipping option. It's very easy, and you don't have to like calculate the weight or the packaging size. That is the one big great thing, but I just think that there should be multiple options for things that are, you know, maybe up to £1, or, you know, certain amounts. I think up to £5 being all the same cost could vary substantially between jewelry and like a pair of boots or something like that. Okay, so the next thing that I wish Poshmark had was unisex sizing, or at least an option to say male and or female, because right now you have to pick either men's, women's, kids, home, etc. And so it doesn't really give you the option to say it could be men's or women's. And so actually I find a lot of pieces that I list are definitely unisex and could be unisex, but I can't label them that way, and I think that hurts the search of the item. And so to be able to just say unisex, or to be able to like kind of check off if it's, you know, male, female, or whatever, like to be able to check off multiple, I think that would really be beneficial. And I know a lot of people have this same issue where they want to label something as unisex, but there's no option to do that. And the only way to do that is to list the item twice, one in men's and one in women's, but people don't recommend doing that, because then people are going to think you have two different pieces of that item. So I always just wish there was a unisex option. I'm sure a lot of people feel the same way, because that would really just help all the problems. And I know you can pick which, you know, category to list it in, but I think overall it would actually be so much more beneficial to just be able to say it could be applied to both, or one or the other. Okay, so this next one I actually talked about in the first video when I made the features that I wish Poshmark had, but it's just one of those things where like I still to this day wish that it was possible, and that is to have more than just 2 color options, and also that there is more color options. So right now you can only pick up to 2 colors, and you can only, you know, pick the colors that they gave, and they're basic colors of the rainbow. You know, there's nothing, there's no extra categories. But I actually know firsthand that I sell a lot of maroon and I sell a lot of teal, and those are 2 options that I don't have. And so when I'm, you know, picking the color for those kind of items, I could pick red or I could pick blue and green, but that's just not the same. And so one, I think it would be really great to have more color options, but also I think it would be great to have like a multi-color option, where like if the shirt had like all the colors, or if it had a few colors, you could say multi, and so people would know that it has multiple colors in it. I think that would really change the way that the search would happen too, because right now if a shirt has 5 colors and you can only pick 2, you have to pick 2 colors that you think would be searched more, but that could also just be hurting the search of the item. So I think putting multi would be really great, and also maybe just having like a custom option would also be good. But I just think like being able to select more than 2 colors and being able to select more than just the 2 basic colors would be really helpful for people on Poshmark. Okay, so another feature that I wish Poshmark had was sellers being able to rate buyers. Now, I know a lot of sellers feel the same way. I know people feel so frustrated that a buyer can rate us, but we can't rate them. So I just think it would be so much more fair if we could kind of rate both ways. And I do know that other platforms have this option, and I think it's way more fair that way, because a buyer can rate us on whatever they want, whether it's fair or not. And as a seller, we can't really do anything. We just have to accept that the rating that they give us, and maybe they gave us a hard time in the beginning, maybe they, you know, sent us a lot of lowball offers, or maybe they were difficult, or whatever the case may be, and we can't do anything about it. We just have to kind of like take the sale and go with it. So I just think it would be fair to be able to warn other buyers, or even just to say, hey, this person was really great, like this person was very lovely to work with. But we don't even have that option, and I just think it would be so much more fair. And like, I feel like if buyers are allowed to rate us, then we should be able to rate them. Like, I think it should just go both ways. Okay, so the next feature that I wish Poshmark had was actually a bulk share for other people's closets. So as part of the stats to get to a Posh Ambassador, you need to share others' closets a certain amount of time, which is like the community shares. And there's no good, fast, easy way to do that unless you have a VA. Now, I do have a VA, and I use my VA to share the community shares. So for me, this is not a problem, but I do know a lot of people struggle with this, and I actually struggled becoming an ambassador because I couldn't get all those shares in. So just having a way to bulk share other people's closets would be great. So the way that you could personal share your closet now with the bulk share feature, I think that would be great to have for other people's closets as well. And it would kind of work the same way, where you could filter on only available items and then you can share all of them. I think that would be a great feature, and I think a lot of people would really appreciate that, especially because the community shares are in the requirements to become an ambassador and then to keep your Posh Ambassador 2 status. So I think Poshmark should make this a little bit easier for people if they want people to be able to become an ambassador or an ambassador 2. Okay, so the next thing that I wish Poshmark had was just a way to get rid of the scammers and or the inactive accounts. Now, this isn't really a feature, but I just wish they would kind of clean through the scammers and the inactive accounts, and that would really help people that are trying to purchase things on the platform. And also it would just be better than, you know, people having to deal with these kind of people all the time. Like, I get a comment at least once a day with someone trying to have me, you know, text them or email them, and so like it would just be so much better if these people were off the platform. But I don't know what the simple solution is for Poshmark to do on that, but I just think the platform would be so much better without them. Okay, so the next feature that I wish Poshmark had was just a larger draft folder. So for now, they have 50 drafts that you can make at once, and for someone like me who really likes to utilize those drafts, I go through 50 very quickly. And actually today I was taking a bunch of photos, drafting a bunch of stuff, and I actually realized that I had way more than 50 that I could have at one point. And so I just wish there was an option to have a larger draft bank, and like that would really help people that like to get ahead and that don't have time during the week. Especially as a part-time reseller, having a larger draft folder would actually be really great, because it would give us more time, you know, like the people that don't have time during the week to get things done, it would give us more prep ahead of time. And I really find that using the drafts is helpful, and so if I had a larger draft bank, I would be so much more happy. The next feature that I wish Poshmark had has to do with the accidental purchases or the accidental bids. So I wish there was a way for these accidental purchases to either not happen, or basically, you know, I wish there was like a "are you sure" button or like a double verification. And you know, it's very frustrating, especially in lives when this happens, because you end up having to just cancel the offer, or you have to cancel the order, even though it says on Poshmark that all sales are final and all offers are binding. A lot of people don't follow that, and a lot of buyers don't understand that, and people think that they can, you know, ask you to cancel or things like that. So I think it would be really beneficial, especially in the live sales, to have that double button where like they click bid and then it says, are you sure? And in that case, then they can actually make sure that they want to make the purchase instead of just hitting bid and it automatically bids. And I also think too, in terms to the accidental bids, I think the bid button is really in a bad spot. I think they should move it to a different spot because right now it's in the spot where you basically hit submit or you hit enter. And so people hit that button when they're typing. And I think Poshmark might have done that on purpose. I don't know, maybe not, but I just think it would be so much more beneficial for people on Poshmark if they just moved the button and then got rid of the accidental purchases by, you know, having a double verification process or something, because it's very frustrating to sellers, but it's also frustrating for buyers. And so Poshmark could just do this and it would really help everybody out on the platform. Okay, so another feature that I wish Poshmark had was a way to customize your newsfeed in terms of what notifications that you see. So I know right now you can actually filter on different tabs, so such as likes, offers, orders, etc. But I just think the default right now is generic and it's the same for everyone. And it's basically all the notifications that you get in your Poshmark feed, including things that you don't want, such as the show notifications or the party notifications or anything like that. So I wish there was kind of a way to kind of select which ones you want to see in your feed. And so it would basically be like a checkoff process where you would check off, I want to see notifications for orders, likes, bundles, comments, etc. And then you would, whatever ones you don't check off would not show up by default. And this would be customizable for each person. So you can kind of set like a default of how you view your notifications. Because I know it's very frustrating to people who constantly get those show notifications in their feeds, or they get bogged down with a bunch of follows or something like that. And yes, you can filter, like I said, on likes or orders, but that's not the default. So I think it would just be so much better if you can select a default you know, filter that you want to set up for your closet, and you could always change it if you wanted, but it would just make it so much easier to see your own notifications, and you wouldn't have to sort through all of the, you know, the notifications that you don't want to see. Okay, I think I'm only going to do one more because this is getting really long of a video, but I do have a whole nother set of things that I want to talk about, so maybe I'll just make up a follow up to this video and do it at a later date, just because I have a whole nother list, but if I do them all in one video, this video is going to be very, very long. But the last one that I will talk about in this video is actually just, I wish there was a way to have more items in your show bank. So for those that do Posh shows, you can only have 50 items in your show bank at once, or your deck. And for me, I actually find that this is not enough because I end up going through all 50 of those items throughout the show, and then it's frustrating to me that I have to take out items to then add other items in. And it would just be so much easier if I could add, you know, more than 50, say like 100 or however many, and then I would have a larger selection to go through. And especially for people that have larger closets, I have about 700 items available right now. So being able to only pick 50 from my closet and then have to go through and add new items, clear items, like, I just think it would be so much easier if there was a larger bank that we could pick from, and then it would be easier during the shows. And then even buyers, like I find buyers during my show are like, oh, I don't have enough of my size in the bank, but I like to have a mix of sizes. But if there was an option to have a larger bank, then I would be able to put all those extra sizes in the video that, you know, I would have multiple sizes of each. And so I think that would just really help people. And I know a lot of other resellers say the same thing when they do shows. So I think that would just be a great feature to add. Okay, so like I said, I'm going to end the video here because this is going to get really long if I don't. But I will make a follow-up part 2, which has a bunch more features that I wish Poshmark had. Again, there's no particular order on these. These are all just things that I wish, you know, Poshmark gave us the ability to do. So definitely stay tuned and make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss when I have that video come out in the near future. But if you want to see another video on things that you should not be doing on Poshmark, you can click right here. And if you want to see a video on tips that are going to help you have more success on Poshmark, that are things that you can actively change right now in your closet to make more sales, you can click right here. But until next time, I will see you then.